A very good morning to all the students. This is Veena teacher. We are doing the chapter absorption by roots. Let us quickly recapitulate what we have seen in previous class. In the previous class, we have seen active transport, turgid and turgidity, flaccid and flaccidity, plasmolysis and deplasmolysis, Turgor pressure and wall pressure, root pressure, and we have also seen uses of turgidity on plants. In today's module, we're going to start with root pressure. In the previous class itself, we have seen what is root pressure. Root pressure is a pressure developed in the roots due to continued inward movement of water through cell to cell osmosis, which helps in the ascent of sap upward through the stem. So now in this picture, we're going to see how the root pressure is helping the transport of water from the root to the leaf. Now, when the root pressure is built up in the root, there is cell to cell movement of water due to osmosis, and this root pressure is such a high force that it helps in movement of water right from the root hair. The water is moving here. This is the cortex region of the root, and from the cortex it is reaching endodermis, pericycle, and from pericycle it is reaching the xylem vessels, and from the xylem vessels your actual ascent of sap is starting. Here the water is moving in the upward direction through the xylem vessels, and then it is reaching this part, and this part represents the leaf. So once the water reaches the leaf, now you have studied about the transpiration in your lower classes. So the water is lost in the form of water vapor through stomata, and this phenomenon is called the transpiration. Along with the transpiration, the guttation also take place. We will just see in some time what is the meaning of guttation. So in this diagram, what you are seeing is how the root pressure that is created inside the root cells is helping the water to move from one cell to other cell till it reaches the xylem vessels, and from xylem vessels till it reaches the leaf of the plant. Now here, this is the cross section of the root, and here you can see the root hair. From here, this part is the one which is actually taking up the water, and here you can see the arrow marks. These arrow marks represent the root in which the water is moving, and you can see that the water is moving from one cell to other cell, and the reason for this movement of water is osmosis. We have seen about the osmosis in our earlier modules. And then see the root. From the root hair, it is reaching the epidermis, and from epidermis the water is reaching the cortex, and from the cortex it is reaching the endodermis. From endodermis, the next region is the pericycle, and from pericycle you have here directly connected to the xylem vessels, and from xylem vessels the water is going to move in the upward direction. So this is how the water is going to move. Children, please keep track of this particular sequence. In your ICSE paper, you have to write this correct sequence. So please see that you understand and you learn this sequence, that is root hair, epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle and xylem. This particular sequence is very important. Now let us understand the next thing, that is guttation. In certain plants like tomato, grass, banana or ferns, the root pressure is high enough to force the water all the way through the stem, and then the water comes out through the end of the leaf veins. This water appears as tiny drops along the margins or the tips of the leaf. So here you can see that sometimes you see that in these plants like brinjal, tomato, etc., in the early morning when you see in the margins of the leaf, you can see some drops of water. So these drops of water, this phenomenon is called guttation, and the guttation happens because of excess of root pressure. So here you can have one reasoning question. Why do you find water on the margins of the leaf early in the morning? Your answer would be the guttation. So because of the guttation, the water is moving out. We will study about guttation in our next chapter as well in detail. Now children, later now in this segment we are going to see various experiments that will prove that the water is absorbed by the roots as well as xylem takes up the water. These experiments are very important in the examination point of view. In the examinations, you will be given the diagrams and you have to write the aim of the experiments, and also you have to explain the experiment. Now here, let us see the first experiment. The aim of the first experiment is to show that the roots absorb water. Now here in this experiment, you have to take two test tubes. This is A, for example, and this is B. And in both the test tubes, equal amount of water is kept. So here you can see the water. Now in the one test tube, there is a plant. You can take a small herbaceous plant like a balsam plant. So in one test tube, a plant with the roots is kept, and the other test tube is taken as a control. It is an experimental test tube. It's a control. Nothing is kept in this particular tube. Now a tiny amount of oil is overlaid here in the test tube after you put the water. So here you can see the oil and here you can see the oil. Now what you have to do is you have to keep these tubes under sunlight for some time. Now after some time, what would be your observation? Just think about it, children. After some time, when you keep this under the sun, what would be your observation be? Okay, let me just explain this here. You will observe that the water level that is present in this particular tube with the plant, the water level drops. So the water level keeps on dropping here, and when you see the level of water here in this tube where there is no plant, the water level remains the same. Now here there are a couple of things which you have to understand. Firstly, when the water level drops in this particular tube, you can understand that the water is absorbed by the roots of the plant, because of which the water level is dropping. Now you may get a doubt here. When we are keeping this test tube in the sunlight, the water can be lost due to water vapor also. Now here, the answer here is, since we are using the oil here on the surface of the water, the oil is kept in order to see that the water loss does not happen because of evaporation. That's the reason why in this tube, when you keep it under the sunlight, the water level remains the same, whereas in this particular tube, the water level drops. So the loss of water because of water vapor, that particular type of water loss is totally eliminated because the oil is kept here in both the tubes. So this experiment in which you will see that the water of the tube is dropping will prove that the roots absorb water. Now let us go to the next experiment. Now here the aim of the second experiment is to see that the water is conducted by the xylem vessels in the upward direction. Children, the previous experiment as well as this experiment, these are very simple experiments. You can do them in your houses and observe the results on your own. This experiment also you can do it on your own. I'll tell you how to do this experiment in your house after I explain this diagram. Now you have to take a small herbaceous plant, any grass plant or any small plant you have in your house, you can take this plant, and then you have to put this plant in a solution with a dye. Now if you have ink in your house, you can use the ink drop also. So any kind of a colored solution you have to prepare, and you have to put the twig in the solution, and you have to leave this for some time. Now after some time, what you can do after few hours, sometime means it is few hours when you keep this plant under the sunlight. After some time, what you can do is you can take the plant and you can just cut the stem of the plant and observe the color that is present inside the stem of the plant. If you have the magnifying lens, then it would be fantastic. You can easily observe the color here. You will see that whichever color you are using here, the same colored ring structures can be observed when you take the transverse section of the stem of the plant. So this transverse section here, this colored section indicates xylem. So this experiment will prove that yes, water is indeed absorbed by the water is indeed transported with the help of the xylem vessels. So children, this experiment, as I told you, this you can do it in your house also. You can take either carrot or radish, any one of these, and then you can immerse that carrot or radish one end in the colored solution or ink water and leave it for some time. So maybe if you start this experiment in the morning, in the evening time, what you can do is you can just take that radish or carrot and you can just cut it across, and you see that in the middle of the carrot and radish, whichever colored solution you used, that particular colored solution can be seen. So please remember children, discard this carrot or radish after you complete the experiment. This should not be eaten by you or anybody else in the house. So remember to discard this particular carrot or radish after you have used this in the experiment. Now let us move on to the next experiment, and the aim of the experiment is that the water is conducted through xylem vessel. Now here children, you can see this experiment here. Now before I start this experiment, let me just tell you the location of xylem vessel and phloem vessel. For that we have to go back to this slide. Now here you see that here this colored part indicates xylem and this light bluish color indicate phloem. So what do you understand the location of xylem and phloem? Xylem is present in the center and the phloem is present away from the xylem in the periphery. That is the location of xylem and phloem. Now let us understand the next experiment. Now here, as I told you just now, xylem is present in the center and phloem is present here in the periphery. That is, after xylem here in the structure you have the phloem present. So you have to take a small herbaceous plant, and then here you are seeing that this plant, the stem is cut in such a manner that the xylem vessel is intact, whereas this peripheral extra part of the stem is cut. And you have to take another plant in which the middle part is cut, whereas the sides are left. Means the phloem is intact while the xylem is cut here. While here in this experiment you will see that the xylem is intact, whereas phloem is not there in this cut. So when you leave this plant for some times, you will see that after a few hours, these leaves, they seem healthy, they seem turgid, because the plant is absorbing the water, the xylem vessel is conducting the water, and the leaves are getting adequate amount of water. But here in this twig, you will see that after some time, the leaves will show wilting. Now why the wilting is shown? Here there is obstruction, here the xylem is not present, because of which the water is not conducted. So the leaves are not getting adequate amount of water, because of which the leaves are showing wilting. So these experiments very clearly prove that the water is conducted with the help of xylem vessels. So here next let us see what is the function of phloem, or let us prove an experiment which proves that the phloem conducts the water. Now here in this experiment, what you have to do is, once again you have to take a small herbaceous plant. It is immersed in the water and the xylem is present, and here just like the previous experiment, here the part of the stem is cut, means you are removing the phloem. Now when you keep this plant under sunlight for some time, you will see that here the tissue that is present here is swollen, means whatever food that is prepared by the leaf, that food is flowing here in the downward direction and it is getting accumulated here. Because you have cut the phloem, the food is unable to reach. So after some time you will see that this particular part won't get the food. So this is certainly not good for the plant in the long run. So this experiment proves that the phloem conducts food. Now very quickly let us see what are the various reasons for the ascent of sap. Now the first reason that you can see is the root pressure. Root pressure builds up sufficient force to push the sap into the xylem vessels up to certain height, and may be enough for the herbaceous plant to reach the leaf also. Next is capillarity. Narrow diameter of xylem vessels cause water from the lower level to rise to fill up the vacuum created by the loss of water due to transpiration from the leaves. So narrow the diameter of this tube, that is a xylem vessel, greater is the transpiration pull or capillary force. Next is transpiration pull. As the water is lost from the leaf surface by transpiration, more water molecules are pulled up due to the tendency of water molecules to remain joined. This is also known as cohesion. So cohesion is the tendency of water molecules to remain joined, forming continuous column of water. Last one is adhesion. Adhesion causes the water to stick to the surface of the cells, thus drawing more water molecules from the below when the leaf cells lose the water during transpiration. This pulling force provided by the leaf is especially important in tall trees such as pines, etc., which do not have adequate root pressure. So, by all these mechanisms, what happens is the water that is absorbed by the root, it gets transported and it reaches the leaves in plants as well as in the trees. Quickly, let us just summarize what we have studied, children. In today's class, we have seen what is root pressure, we have seen various experiments, and also we have seen what are the reasons behind the ascent of sap. So, this particular module ends this chapter. Thank you all, children. Stay home, stay safe. God bless you all.